Hello! Welcome to another episode of Three Dudes on the Sofa, and I'm Interghost, and today we have
Dan Central
and
Shock 16.
And the topic for this episode is extinct TV channels. Yeah, I was going to say program channels. So channels which we used to watch when we were younger, but are no longer around.
Or they've changed name or something
like
that.
Yeah, they're still going, but they're known under a different name.
Yeah. So, is Dan up first?
Dan's up first.
Right. Well, this is completely, hugely nostalgic for me. Just talking about these kind of like channels that I used to especially watch when I was growing up. And a big one for me was Fox Kids. Fox Kids was a channel that I watched religiously with shows like a big one, obviously being Goosebumps. They had, I think it was Beetleborgs was another one, and they had also another paranormal one called Erie, Indiana that was on.
Oh, I got in Erie, Indiana. I've got a box set of that.
So have I, yeah. The Henri Carts, I think you pronounce the name, was in, and he then went on to star in Hocus Pocus and that kind of thing.
Did you still have VR Troopers on Fox Kids?
VR Troopers? Rings a bell.
We are VR.
Rings a bell. Didn't you have like Totally Spies? Is it Totally Spies?
I never saw Fox.
Oh.
Fox Kids, I can always remember it. I don't think I used to watch many programmes actually on Fox Kids though, but I can't remember it being there. Goosebumps would probably be the one that I've watched most on that channel.
So I've never seen an episode of Goosebumps.
Wow.
Read books with the kids, but not seen the TV show.
That then got taken over by Jetix, but then for a while it had like Fox Kids and Jetix.
Did it have like a webcam as a symbol? Jetix.
It was like a circle with like eyes, and then it had like I think it was like, I don't know, like pointy things coming out. I don't know if it's horns, but like pointy things coming out of it. Anyway, I can't remember exactly. And then that turned into Disney XD. So, but Fox Kids is the big one for me. I used to love that big time.
Yeah. The one that I used to watch a lot, which turned into another channel, but I'll get onto that in a minute, is TCC, which stood for The Children's Channel.
Yes.
It was available only on Sky.
Yeah.
I don't cable.
Yeah, or cable, Sky or cable.
Oh,
and it used to have shows on it like California Dreams.
I've heard of it, but I can't say I've ever watched.
It was basically about teenagers and they had a band called the California Dreams.
Fair enough.
And yeah.
Was it like Gem?
No, it wasn't a cartoon, it was like a live action kind of thing. Like a teen comedy.
Like Saved by the Bell type.
Yeah, a bit like that.
Oh, that's a show.
And it had that used to be on TCC.
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell.
Oh, right.
Sister, was that on there?
That was on Nickelodeon.
That was on Nickelodeon. And Sweet Valley High.
Yes.
I heard of it.
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
and the Tick.
But I must admit, I only used
Tick.
to watch Sweet Valley High because of the twins, the blonde twins. They was hot.
I got the Tick on DVD as well. Got all the episodes of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I used to love the Tick.
Yeah.
That was great.
And obviously Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim.
Another big one on that channel.
Which not a lot of people would actually know that there was a cartoon of Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, not many people.
But there was.
Definitely was.
So, another channel?
Ghost?
I can't really think of many. I remember, we were saying earlier, there's one called Bravo, and we're not sure if it's on still or not.
Yeah,
because
I can't remember.
We can remember the circle with the horns on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's changed into another channel. But
I
can remember that.
What's happened?
Yeah, I remember watching that quite a bit, and it was basically Dave. It's like.
Because that's what you think it is, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's changed today, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure UK Gold 2 became something.
Well, it was G2 at the time, wasn't it? UK G2.
Yeah, that's right. So I thought that changed into Dave, but again, I could be wrong.
But Adam's right. The kind of shows that are on Dave used to be on Bravo.
Yeah, it's all like cops and.
Yeah.
And
other shows like that.
Yeah.
Like 911 emergencies or something.
Yeah.
We used to have like shows like Sin Cities on and stuff like that. Like kind of seedy shows, didn't it, at night?
Yeah.
And the other one, I was going to say, was the live TV one, which I think was owned by the guy who runs the Sun newspaper.
Yeah.
And they had some real weird stuff on it. It's like they had topless darts. They had
where was I when this was happening?
It's either the news or whatever, where a woman just stripped off. I think it's the news. While she was in the news, she just stripped off. And then they had a midget jumping up and down on a trampoline doing the weather.
Still cold because the cold, chilly winds are still with us.
It was just
sounds
but it was just bizarre.
It's just weird. Every time you turn on, you're like, what the hell?
The first time I ever saw that, it was actually at a Boxing Day party.
Yeah.
And my uncle says, like, we was all like obviously all drunk. I was only a kid at the time, of course.
Yeah.
And my uncle just goes, "Has anybody seen this channel?" And puts it on, and it was topless.
The funny with topless darts is like they're so obvious. Don't know how to play darts. You know, they're just like, come on, they go.
They literally just throwing
they just go all over the place.
Yeah. It was just like
they have like proper commentary over it.
But it went on for hours.
Yeah.
And it was just like this. It's like imagine being a kid, a little kid seeing tits.
It's like it sounds like they had no concept of an actual schedule. They were like, "Oh, we've only got so long." It was
just
went on and on.
Filling time, wasn't
Did it used to run all day? Or
yeah, well, it did run all day, but they didn't have adult stuff until after like 9 or 10. But yeah, they just had loads of rubbish.
Bizarre channel, I do remember.
I wonder why that disappeared.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Paramount channel, which you reminded me of earlier.
Yeah.
Which is now
Paramount
obviously
channel.
Comedy Central. South Park. Friends reruns. Show Lee Evans tours on there as well every now and again.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They show a lot of it.
It was like 9 PM one Monday night, and it's just like Lee Evans Excel tour live. I'm so sticking that on.
But yeah, that used to be Paramount Comedy Channel, didn't it? And then what is it now? You say
Comedy Central.
Comedy Central. Nice.
Sure, it's Comedy Central.
Something like that.
I think so. Yeah. And then moving on to music, as we were saying a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
The box.
The box.
Music
television that
you control.
And you had the numbers. You'd key in the 3 numbers, and it'd be like, like thank you.
Yeah.
And it'd have all the names of the artists and the songs scrolling like along the bottom.
That was back in the day of because you used to be able to use teletext to do it.
Yeah. And I was saying it was the only bad thing about that. It's a good idea, but people would vote for the same songs over and over again.
Yeah.
So you'd have like 3 or 4 songs which would go on all the time, and you're like, oh, not this one again.
Like,
I can actually remember the year. You know, Aqua, Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones, Jones,
I can remember a lot of
that being
Girls
on
being
6 times in a row once.
I bet after you finished dancing to it, you were like, no more.
Again.
And he played it 6 times in a row. I wanted it 7.
I wanted it 7. Come on, push the boat out. Come on.
Yeah, Spice Girls used to be on it, didn't they?
And what was it? MTV used to have music on it.
When it was music only, and they had a studio.
People watching this might not know, but the M in MTV stands for music.
That's mad.
Music TV, not rubbish TV.
What does the M stand for now on MTV?
Don't know. Still music, I think, but they just don't play it. They just play lots of.
I'm
trying to think of a word beginning of them that was meant to be, and I couldn't.
But music television, it just used to be literally back-to-back music videos, didn't it?
It did.
And then they do a few shows like Beavis and Butthead on it.
Yeah. But that was alright because it wasn't too often.
But it would have music in the show.
Yeah, and when they were in the studio, didn't they have? Do you remember they had like little clips of different music videos playing behind them with like the names of them underneath and stuff? And
no, I don't think they even have music at all, do they?
They had interviews. They had interviews where they used to have all the fans outside. You'd see them looking in, and they'd be talking to
When I used to get in from school, there used to be one in particular show on MTV called the MTV Request Show.
Catchy.
But it was something like that. It was just
That's what it says on the tin.
I think it was called MTV Request or something like that. It was only on for like a couple of hours. But like you say, it was in the studio, and you had like celebrity, like the actual artists.
Yeah, definitely.
And you'd see their videos in the back, and you could select the videos you wanted.
Yeah. But it's such a great idea, and now they've just made it like any other channel, really. Yeah. If you think about it, it's just rubbish.
There's no on that. One that I can remember, but I don't know if you guys will remember it, is back when I was young, Sky Movies, before it had like Sky Movies Cinema, Sky Movies Premiere, or whatever it's got now. It just used to simply be just Sky Movies 1 all the way up to 6, and then you had Sky Movies Gold.
This is Sky Movies Gold, part of the Sky Satellite Network.
Which was just like old classic films like black and white and stuff like that. Speaking of that, I've just thought of another one, which was TNT.
TNT, yeah.
TNT.
Yeah,
I
that had all
remember
old films.
TNT.
And that was like all black and white.
Yeah, you
kind
get all
of-
like the Hammer films and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've got a really sad fact for you as well. On
See what-
cable, I'm sure it was one channel during the day and then switched to TNT in the evening.
Yeah, it did, but I can't remember. Was it?
It wasn't Cartoon Network, no.
No, it was Trouble.
Was it Trouble? And then it moved?
Yeah, and then it went to TNT.
Because some of them got to a certain
Or
time.
was it? It might have been Cartoon Network actually. It changed to TNT at night.
And then Nickelodeon would get to like 7 PM and just stop. It would just go.
Yeah.
And you'd lose it. And you'd be like, what? And then you'd realise on satellite, it just runs, it continues. And you're like, I'm being deprived of more Nickelodeon.
But going back to Sky Movies Gold, I used to like that because I used to like the old westerns.
Yeah,
they used to play. It used to be always have westerns on it. You never.
Oh man.
And that's when you kind of see the acting range of John Wayne.
Get off your horse.
Because that's the only character he can play.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I know that I've just offended a lot of John Wayne fans now, haven't I?
Yeah, they all watch our channel. Because we're always doing cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
UK Play, UK TV Play was another one.
One of those that didn't last.
Didn't last.
Wasn't. I'm trying to think of one that it was really, really short-lived. I think it might have been Sky 2. Like Sky 1, but you had Sky 2.
You had Sky 3 as well.
And they literally just
You
didn't
did.
last.
And then
did
they disappeared and it became Sky Atlantic and Sky... Oh, bugger, what's the other one? Sky Atlantic and then there's another Sky.
Never saw Sky Old Burger.
Sky Old Bugger.
Sky Old Bugger, it's coming out soon.
You're watching Sky Bugger, part of the Sky Network.
No, didn't it though?
Hosted by Victor Mildrew.
Oh, bugger.
Sky
Oh, bugger.
Atlantic! I don't
I don't believe this channel.
How does this even come into being? 2 and 3, obviously got cancelled, and we had Sky Atlantic and another one.
But I always remember
Anyway,
Sky 2. Sky 2's programme listing was basically just reruns of X-Files. That's all it was. Basically, it was the X-Files that you'd seen on Sky 1, but a few weeks later, and then they just keep replaying it until they had a bit more that they could repeat it.
Sky used to do that a lot, didn't they? They used to just have repeats and repeats, and you're like, bloody hell.
I'll tell you what, you know, on UK Gold, they still play the same shows that I was watching 20 years ago on
keep
UK Gold.
appearances.
But it's still the same. It's still the same series.
Only Fools and Horses, yeah.
I mean, I love all of Fools and Horses.
Yeah,
but it's
but
like,
I know what you mean.
It's
I know
like
what
the
you
only thing they've got though. It's the same shows that they've been playing for the past 20 years.
You know, the Sci-Fi channel's obviously still going.
Yeah.
But do you remember when it was actually properly good? And what I mean by that is, back in the day,
It was a planet, wasn't it?
It was a planet,
And it was
showed-
actually called Sci-Fi. And it changed the way they spell it. Now.
Yeah, it's now
Sci-Fi.
SYF1. It used to be SCI.
Yeah.
That's FI.
Yeah.
And back then it was showing proper like horror movies like Hellraiser and The Twilight Zone. And now it just shows like really rubbish like indie films that are not really good, like Titanic 2.
Titanic 2.
Titanic 2.
Basically,
It sank again.
You could say, how do you think that?
it's not an official sequel to the first one because obviously it can't sink twice. But basically, there's like a, and in fact, the console snob will know that because he was talking about it. There's a production company called The Asylum,
Yeah, the Asylum.
and they basically bring out really rubbish like films. You can tell them.
Yeah,
really
they're all like
horribly
they're
hashed
basically like kind
together.
of like snakes on a train instead of snakes on a plane.
Yeah, and they
Stuff
also
like
brought out Titanic. Now, Titanic 2, it doesn't mean it's a sequel, it means there was an extra, like a separate boat that was called Titanic
like
2.
T-O-O, like Titanic
No,
2.
it was 1-1, Titanic 1-1. And basically the idea is it sailed 100 years after the sinking of the original Titanic, and it suffered the same fate. But when I was watching it, I was just like, oh my god, the acting is just like, oh.
How disrespectful is that?
Don't
as well?
watch
He
it.
died on the first one.
Don't watch Titanic 2. It's not an actual sequel.
Leonardo
It's
DiCaprio comes back out of the window.
Yeah. Someone did hash a fake fan-made trailer of it once and made everyone believe it was actually coming back. And it was like, but how is that going to actually happen?
You see these things.
And the trailer was just loads of different Leonardo DiCaprio films mashed together, and it fooled everyone. They took that scene from Romeo and Juliet and a scene from another film we've been in, and they made people believe it was actually a sequel. But anyway, I digress. But Sci-Fi, yeah, definitely. It's not great nowadays, but it was awesome back in the day. Trouble. Which used to be...
Which I didn't know, until you said, I didn't actually know was not on air anymore. I thought it was still on air.
Discontinued. It used to have Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and My Wife and Kids and...
But that used to be TCC. TCC.
That's it.
turned it into Trouble.
That's what I was trying to find out. What was it used to be, TCC?
But yeah, I can't believe Trouble's just gone now.
Trouble's just gone.
That's it.
Just
You're
like,
right.
boom.
I don't know.
It just one day it just vanished.
Not in trouble anymore.
You're not in trouble anymore.
There was. I was saying to you earlier actually. It started off as UK Living, and then it moved to Living TV, which had shows like Most Wanted.
Just kept
like
rebranding it.
And then they rebranded it. Now it's called Sky Living. So
Actually, I've just thought of another one,
been rebranded.
which I don't know. You'll have to confirm whether it's still on or not. And it used to be called Granada Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like shows
Granada
like
Plus.
motoring shows and
And it was old.
Motorboating.
like motoring shows, like shows about cars.
Steady.
Like used to have like
steady.
wheeler dealers and stuff like that, and car sharks. Did you ever watch Car Sharks?
Why does that ring a bell?
It's basically two teams got the same car.
Yeah.
Like they get a crappy Sierra or something, like that. And then they had to do it up. And yeah, I can remember once that on that show that I think it was a Sierra or it was an Orion, a Ford Orion. They both got Ford Orions, and one of them like lived near the Wolves football grounds. So they just painted it.
Just up here.
Yeah, just a bit. Just painted it in Wolves colours, and then got this Wolves players to sign in marker pen on the dashboard the names, and then they sold it to a Wolves fan. And it was the shittest thing ever. It's like a Ford Orion with like House Dulux Wonko on it.
Nice.
But yeah, Granada Plus, that was just full of motoring shows.
I do remember that. I do.
And I used to watch it quite a lot in the daytime. But I think it used to have. Is that like used to have CD shows on at night or something as well? Like
It probably did, to be fair.
but in the daytime, it was just all about motoring and stuff like that.
And then when Cartoon Network as well, obviously it's still running, but back then I was saying earlier when the logo was a big rectangle with black and white squares in it, and it wasn't now changed where you just got the C in the N like connected, and it just kind of like, and the shows are just so bad now.
Yeah, and we said Nickelodeon when it used to have the cool song.
Nickelodeon.
And they had like presenters in the studio, and they'd show like pictures you sent in.
Munya and Yolanda.
Whoa!
They was
I actually remember that.
There was
That's cool.
two female presenters that used to be on the daytime called Munya and Yolanda or something like that.
That sort of rings
You
a bell.
can Google it and see if I'm right. I might be a
I'll
little
be
bit
very impressed if you
I might be a little bit off with the names.
Obviously, shops had a liking to these.
I think I did. I think I used to fancy one of them, and I think that's how I remember
That's
the name
ring a bell.
because I had to know the name of the one that I fancied and not the one that I didn't.
Yeah.
He's coming. Michael's coming. Oh, we're having a day today, aren't we?
We are indeed. Michael, are you there?
But then also, going on from that Disney Channel, when it used to be good as well, now it's just full of pretty much nothing, like just,
Hannah Montana.
just reruns of Hannah Montana, which actually, we've moved on from that now, but they're still showing it.
Yeah.
But back when it was good, and you had Recess, and you had like good shows on there that have just been wiped, and now you've got like, well, don't get me wrong, Phineas and Ferb is alright, but it's nothing like when we had Recess and other ones, can't think of the head, but yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's all the ones I
I think
think
that
of.
exhausts it really.
yeah, I think that's
But this one I'm really interested in. Not saying I'm not in the others, but
Yeah, like the other ones.
No, what I mean
If
is,
you've not seen them, don't bother.
because it's so nostalgic for me as well, I would really be interested with you guys
Yeah.
to put some
and
more down
also
there.
because we're from the UK, you might be from a different country. There might be
Different.
like channels that you had that
Yeah.
we didn't, and
Yeah,
I'm sure the US have had a lot.
stuff from
Yeah,
over there.
so
Yeah, we're not
basically,
obviously secluding you guys
if you
either.
remember a channel that you used to like that's no longer, or you wish would come back, or it changed name or something like that, just let us know in the comments.
Or make a video.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Do a response, yeah, do it. Do
Yeah.
it.
And until next time.
See you later.